All right, welcome back. So today we're going to be talking about the properties of equality. The properties of equality are kind of the beginnings of what's going to be algebraic proofs, and we're actually going to cover algebraic proofs this lesson, but that's going to be kind of the basis for proofs later on in this class. Now I know a lot of people have scared you off from proofs. You probably took geometry before and were maybe scared of proofs. I'm going to try to do this in the most painless way I possibly can, while still making sure that you learn the material that you're supposed to learn. So let's give this a try. So right now we're going to talk about the properties of equality. The first one is the addition property. It's really the addition and subtraction property, since addition and subtraction are technically the same thing, but I'm not going to get into a fight about that. The addition property says that if you have something that's equal to something else, say x is equal to 3, if you add the same number to both sides, so x plus 4, then if you add the same number to the other side, they stay equal. So if x is 3, then 3 plus 4 is 7, and x is 7, and x plus 4 is equal to 7. The next one is the multiplication property, which again is really the multiplication and division property, but I'm not going to get into a fight about that. This says something similar. If you have a number y, it's equal to 4. If you multiply both sides by the same number, then it's going to stay equal. So if y is 4, then that means that 3y is equal to 3 times 4, or 12. Next we have the reflexive property, and this one always freaks people out when they see it. The reflexive property is just that anything is always going to be equal to itself. A line is a line, a is a car is a car, and x is equal to x. Now, this one often gets confused with the next property. The reflexive property just says that anything is equal to itself. The next property is called the symmetric property. Rather than saying a property is equal to itself, it's saying that if you have something that's equal to something else, so let's say x is equal to 4, then you can reverse them around the equal sign. So if x is 4, then 4 is x. It seems kind of strange, and it's very similar to the reflexive property, but we will be using it when we get to proofs. And the last one we're going to cover today is called the transitive property. This is one of my favorites. The transitive property says that if you have, say, x is equal to 3, but 3 is also equal to y, then x has to be equal to y, because they're both equal to some middle thing. I like to think of it as if you have a friend, and that friend has a boyfriend or girlfriend, then you need to be friends with that boyfriend or girlfriend if you want your friendship to last. Let's take a look at this in practice. So we're going to create what's called an algebraic proof. So I'm going to take this algebraic equation, 3x plus 4 is equal to 10x minus 17, and we're going to solve it, but we need to justify every step along the way using the properties of equality. So the first property we're going to use is adding 17 to both sides. You don't have to do that step first. You could have subtracted 4 from both sides first, or subtracted 3x, or subtracted 10x from both sides. I just happen to add 17 to both sides first. And the property that lets me do that is the addition property, because you can add the same number to both sides. That would leave us with 3x plus 21 equal to 10x. From there, again, there's many different ways you can go about it. I started by subtracting 3x from both sides. Again, this is the addition property. Even though it's subtraction, subtraction is really addition. So if I subtract 3x from both sides, I get 21 is equal to 7x. Now from here, I can use the division property or the multiplication property. It's the same thing. Divide both sides by 7, and I get, by 7. And I have an error here. Good Lord, Mr. Taft. This should be 3 is equal to x. So there we go. Already an error. So there we go. We've got our different properties of equality. Now the assignment that is based on this can be found in the back of the classroom in the geometry crate in the folder marked lesson 2. You can go ahead and find that. I'll tell you about the due dates in class, and the due date will also be posted on the website. So I hope everybody out there has themselves a wonderful day.